The name is Bond. James Bond.
Greetings, James Bond fan. You're listening to me, Zain, part of Zains007Fancast, where we do it better. Have you ever caught those blink and you'll miss them moments in the Bond universe where 007 is quietly reading a book? Whether it's on screen or tucked into the pages of Fleming's novels, you might think these little literary cameos are just set dressing, a bit of filler between the action. But here's where it gets interesting. Ian Fleming poured a lot of himself into James Bond, his habits, his pleasures, even his anxieties. So if Bond is spotted with a particular book in hand, is that really an accident? Or is it Fleming giving us a secret handshake, a glimpse into his own tastes, his influences, and the inner life he imagined for Britain's most famous spy? Today, we're taking a deep dive into the books Bond reads, why they matter, and what they reveal about both 007 and the man who created him. So sit back, adjust your Walther PPK shoulder holster, and let's turn the page. For instance, did you know that in From Russia with Love, Bond is shown reading Eric Ambler's classic thriller, The Mask of Demetrios? It's a deliberate choice. Ambler's novel follows a mysterious criminal whose supposed death is only the beginning of a deeper, darker web of espionage. Demetrios was believed to have stolen Yugoslav naval plans, but instead he becomes involved in heroin trafficking, political manipulation, and prostitution networks. It's exactly the kind of morally shadowed world Fleming loved, and that Bond understands instinctively. Bond's reading habits don't end there. If you look at the detective fiction Ian Fleming admired, you'll find Rex Stout's famous sleuth Nero Wolfe. In Stout's story, The Zero Clue, the entire mystery turns on a tiny pencil-shaped symbol representing the number 302, a detail connected to a rejected hospital design and a bombing fatality. It's classic detective logic, tiny clues unlocking huge truths, precisely the kind of thinking Bond relies on. Another Rex Stout novel, Too Many Women, features a victim named Waldo Moore. Company president Jasper Pine seeks out Nero Wolfe, wanting to know whether the rumors surrounding Waldo Moore's death have any truth to them. Wolfe sends Archie Goodwin undercover as an efficiency consultant, assigning him to dig into the workings of the stock department where Moore had been employed. Archie is immediately struck by the place, nearly 500 stunning young women working as secretaries, clerks, and assistants. As Archie noses around, he learns Moore had been something of a legendary flirt, juggling more admirers than was wise, yet he had recently become engaged to Hester Livesey, a quiet, capable stenographer. With every conversation, Archie uncovers more tension, jealousy, and motive than he expected, leaving him with a long list of possible suspects in Moore's untimely death. It's a reminder of how human emotions, not grand conspiracies, often sit. At the heart of crime, something Fleming understood well. Now, if you delve deeper into Bond's character, you'll find him reading several books in Goldfinger. Not just on golf, though Fleming has him study golfing manuals to outplay Goldfinger, but also books on endurance, survival, and the limits of the human body. Fleming shows us a man who prepares, how much pain can be survived, how much damage the body can sustain, and how a fighter can keep going even with injuries. This is Bond building himself intellectually, not just physically. Bond's reading also helps him gamble. In Diamonds Are Forever, he studies card-playing technique, statistics, and probability, which he later uses to outwit opponents and bankrupt the Spangled Mob in Las Vegas. His victories aren't luck. Fleming makes it clear, Bond does the homework. And Bond's literary influences stretch beyond fiction. He reads Profiles in Courage by John F. Kennedy, a real-world political book about honor, duty, and moral bravery. Fleming admired Kennedy, and Kennedy famously listed From Russia with Love among his favorite novels. The admiration flowed both ways. Bond also reads works connected to intelligence theory. For instance, he was familiar with texts by Alan Dulles, the former CIA director and personal friend of Ian Fleming. Dulles and Fleming shared ideas about spycraft, technical innovations, and Cold War strategy. Their exchanges directly influenced the gadgets, plots, and intelligence detail that appear throughout the Bond novels. And of course, Fleming himself was shaped by writers like Eric Ambler and Raymond Chandler, authors who specialize in moral grey zones, sharp dialogue, and tightly controlled suspense. These influences form the foundation of Bond's investigative style. He observes, follows the lead, identifies the hidden hand behind the crime, and dismantles the web piece by piece. You see that pattern everywhere. In Casino Royale, Bond pursues Le Chiffre until he finally breaks him. In Moonraker, he uncovers Hugo Drax's true identity and stops his plan. In Diamonds Are Forever, he tracks the Spangled Mob from Africa to Las Vegas. In From Russia with Love, he unravels the trap set by Rosa Klebb and SPECTRE. In Dr. No, he investigates Crabkey and literally brings down Dr. No's operation from inside. Bond follows clues, studies patterns, and uses knowledge, not just violence, to win. That's the essence of Fleming's creation, a man whose reading, research, and intellect sharpen his ability to survive. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this look into the literary influences of not only Ian Fleming but of James Bond himself. Be sure to subscribe, share, like, and tell us your thoughts. Remember, at Zains007Fancast we do it better.